The sun had yet to rise. The dock worker approached the harbor holding a lantern in one hand and a mug of hot tea in the other. Just as he arrived, the previous ship hand sorted through his keychain, trying to find the one that locked the door. He approached with his lantern and greeted him.
"Morning."
The dock worker yawned.
"Morning. I'll just leave it open for you."
The ship hand pocketed his keys.
"It's been slow. Good luck staying awake. Another day, another dollar,"
he grumbled, walking past him into the building. The dock worker set the lantern down and placed both hands on the steaming mug. The sun rose, but sunlight hardly cut through the thick, dark clouds. Outside the lodge, roaring winds whipped flurries of snow in a vortex. The dock worker looked outside the window. The entire harbor was frozen solid. Frost climbed up the pilings, and the ships were stuck in place. The dock worker sipped his tea, grateful to not be out in the cold. A dense fog obscured the harbor. In the distance, a shadowy figure crept closer. The dock worker was baffled. There was no way a boat this small could pierce ice so thick. His eyes must be deceiving him, or perhaps the cold had gotten to him and he drifted off into a dream. The dark figure came into view. It was a young man, wearing a collection of animal pelts holding an axe. He had long, dirty hair and a thick, unkempt beard. A band of men materialized behind him from the fog. He ran across the ice, and the stampede followed.
"Oh, merdi,"
the dock worker muttered to himself. He grabbed his lantern, rushed out of the lodge, and sprinted towards the town.
"Raiders, turn back! Raiders!"
he warned the fishermen, carrying supplies to the harbor. Alarm bells rang through the town, alerting the cavalry. The raiders scattered across the city, pillaging homes, looting stores, and setting fire to the buildings once they were effectively useless. Men too slow to evade them were treated with an axe to the spine, and women were tormented before meeting a similar fate. Squads of knights on horseback trotted throughout the city to combat these attackers. The knights used lances to impale them, picking the raiders off one by one as they attempted to retreat to the sea. A particularly unlucky raider found himself surrounded by the knights. He gripped his iron axe tightly. The knights brandished their steel swords and swung all at once. The Galaic steel split the raider's iron helmet, cut him deeply, and knocked him unconscious. The knights hog-tied the raider to their horses and dragged his limp body to the capital. The raider slowly opened his eyes, and a blood-drenched cloth was tight around his face, pressing against his tongue. He tried pulling down the gag, but his hands were bound behind his back. He attempted to stand, but his legs were bound to the chair. He rocked side to side in the chair. The cloth muffled his curses.
"I think he's awake,"
a voice said behind the wooden door. The knight entered the room. He wore attire appropriate for his rank, a bright pink uniform with rose gold buttons on the lapel and jacket cuffs. He pulled the muzzle off the raider's face.
"Bon dia, pot dorme,"
the guard chuckled.
"Que doma parle Galaic? Do you speak Angelic? Spretse de Batavik?" "So no, I guess."
The raider left the room and shut the door behind him.
"So what's going on? Can he be reasoned with?"
Bella asked the guard.
"I'm not sure. I can't understand a word he's saying. If he understands Angelic, Batavik, Galaic, Atlantic, he's not attempting to speak it,"
he reported. Bella sighed and pondered for a moment. She thought about her conversation with Gia and recalled her enchanted necklace.
"I have an idea," she said finally. "Fetch me the Queen of Albuquerque. She might be able to help."
Once Gia understood what was being asked of her, she was apprehensive about even touching the door handle, let alone stepping into the room. Bella put her hand on Gia's shoulder.
"Don't be scared. We'll have a guard enter with you. Nothing bad is going to happen."
"Okay." Gia nodded her head. She entered the room with the guard, and he pulled the muzzle off the raider's face.
"Hello? Can you,
she stammered. The raider glared at her with a blank expression. Gia rubbed her necklace, waiting for the language translation to kick in.
"Maybe I need him to say something before I can understand it?"
"Whoa, that's easy." The officer pulled a knife from his sheath and held it to the raider's groin.
"Miskal, stovast!"
The raider screeched.
Did you get any of that?
The officer asked.
I get what he means, but I don't understand what he's saying. Okay, stop, she ordered.
The guard pulled back.
Why isn't the necklace working?
Gia spoke to the djinn.
Because Vani didn't wish for that language.
Can you add it?
She asked.
Biclissia besi clicla, kekling clatala.
The raider slurred.
You can wish for it,
the djinn offered. Gia huffed. She pointed at herself.
My name is Gia. Gia, what's your name?
She pointed at the pink coat.
Marco. Point at yourself and say Marco, she said.
The officer sighed but complied. He pointed at himself and recited his name.
What's your name?
Gia asked, pointing at the raider. The raider cleared his throat and spat on the ground near her feet.
Well, okay then.
Gia left the room and the guard stuffed the bloody rag back into the raider's mouth. Bella awaited the report eagerly.
This thing doesn't work with his language, and I don't think he would bargain with us if he could anyway,
Gia said. Bella sighed.